While out hunting, a wealthy man suddenly noticed a dark figure on the mountaintop. Thinking it was prey, he immediately fired several rounds at it, but the guide beside him, Nick, felt an ominous sense of dread. Sure enough, when they reached the mountaintop, they discovered that the target wasn't an animal. It was an elderly man with a head full of white hair. The rich man was instantly stunned. As the guide, Nick rushed forward to check the situation. Unfortunately, the old man was already completely lifeless. Their top priority was to transport the body back to town. The wealthy man, realizing the gravity of what he'd done, had no choice but to agree. While Nick headed down the mountain to retrieve the vehicle, a wicked idea suddenly occurred to the rich man. Seeing that Nick hadn't returned yet, he glanced at the body on the ground. An evil plan quickly took shape in his mind. The next moment, he picked up Nick's hunting rifle and fired another shot at the corpse. Hearing the gunshot, Nick rushed back up the mountain and asked what had happened. The wealthy man revealed that he had deliberately used Nick's gun to fire an extra round into the body to escape legal responsibility. Now that the corpse carried two different types of bullets, if the police were to investigate, Nick wouldn't be able to clear his name, even if he had 10 mouths to defend himself. At that point, the rich man made a promise. As long as Nick kept quiet, they would both be safe. And afterward, he would give Nick a hush money payment of $3 million, along with a high-paying job worth $1 million per year. Initially, Nick hesitated, but faced with the overwhelming power of wealth, he reluctantly agreed. The two buried the body, but as Nick stared at the innocent man who had lost his life, his last bit of conscience stirred. While the rich man was washing his hands, Nick went to the car, intending to call the police using the satellite phone in his backpack. Unexpectedly, the rich man appeared behind him with a gun. Furious at Nick for breaking their deal, he ordered Nick to drop the phone. Staring at the gun in the rich man's hand, Nick had no choice but to obey. The wealthy man crushed the phone underfoot, but he didn't intend to kill Nick. Instead, he threatened him to strip off his clothes. Nick couldn't understand what the man wanted, but seeing the weapon pointed at him, he had no choice but to comply. When he was down to just his underwear, the rich man finally seemed satisfied. He pointed in a certain direction and ordered Nick to walk that way. It turned out the rich man planned to let Nick die under the scorching sun. That way, there would be no evidence, and nature itself would erase the witness. Considering the nearest road was at least 100 kilometers away, he had no fear that Nick would make it out alive. Under the blazing sun, Nick's back quickly turned red, and his body grew weaker. But with the rich man keeping watch not far behind, Nick had no choice but to keep walking. In truth, he hadn't given up. He was calculating other options. As a guide, he knew the terrain like the back of his hand. When he saw a number on a post, he instantly changed direction. Though he had appeared weak moments ago, he now moved with sudden energy. The rich man didn't care, convinced that Nick couldn't possibly escape. But in the next moment, he was proven dead wrong. Nick suddenly leapt off the edge, leaving the rich man completely dumbfounded. Nick disappeared from sight. The rich man quickly jumped in his vehicle to chase him. Meanwhile, Nick didn't dare slow down, relying on memory. He ran straight to the entrance of a cave. After removing the stones blocking the way, a hidden tunnel revealed